Welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about the midpoint formula. Let's get started.
So as you probably guessed, the midpoint of a line segment is the point exactly in the middle. And we can find it by using the two endpoints of a line segment. So endpoints would be the points on the end, and of course the midpoint is right in between. So there's a formula for the midpoint. If we're given the endpoints, we can calculate the midpoint by finding the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So remember, the average is when you add them and then divide by 2. So that's where we get this formula right here. x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now keep in mind, it's all within a parenthesis with a comma in between. So once you get your value on the left and your value on the right, you're not going to combine them because it's a coordinate point. So you leave it with the parentheses and the comma. So sometimes we're given the midpoint and we're actually asked to find the endpoint. You have to think backwards to solve a question like this, and it actually helps to draw it out. So when we get to it, keep in mind that the question will look something like this, where we're given the midpoint, we're given an endpoint, and we're asked to find the other endpoint. And I will talk more about how to solve a question like this. Keep in mind that drawing it out is helpful. Let's try an example. A line segment has endpoints 110 and negative 3,5. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. So let's find the average of the x's, 1 plus negative 3 divided by 2, comma, average of the y's, 10 plus 5 divided by 2. And if it helps you to label it, do that. This would be x1, y1, x2, y2, and again my formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So let's figure this out. 1 plus negative 3 is negative 2, and 10 plus 5 is 15. Now I'm going to go ahead and simplify it all the way. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, and 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So my midpoint is negative 1, 7.5. Okay, on this question, it says the midpoint of RS is M negative 2, 7. And we're told one endpoint, R, is negative 5, 12, and we're asked to find the other endpoint. So to do this, I'm going to actually draw a line. This side will be R, draw it kind of long. This side will be S, and my midpoint is right in the middle. So I'm told the coordinate of R is negative 5, 12. The coordinate of the midpoint is negative 2, 7, and I want to figure out what is the coordinate of S. So let's do it. How far do I have to jump to go from negative 5 to negative 2? And keep in mind, I drew it out in this order, R first, then S, because that's the way it's written, RS. You can't draw it backwards, SR. You'll get the wrong answer, okay? So keep that in mind. Now back to the question, how far do I have to go from negative 5 to negative 2? I actually have to add 3. So because this is a midpoint, it's going to be the same distance from R to M as M to S. I'm going to do the same thing to get the next one. I'm going to add 3. So negative 2 plus 3 gives me positive 1. And again, I do it now with the y's. Let me do it in a different color. So from 12 to 7, I actually subtract 5. So then from 7 to the next one, I'm going to have to do the same thing. Subtract 5. 7 minus 5 gives me 2. So my answer is going to be 1, 2. That's it for this lesson. Now go ahead and try some practice on your own.